Yo, y'all already know what this is. This is going to be one of the most incredible streams I have ever done because she went from making $30,000 a year to now making over $30,000 a month. She makes over $300,000 a year. And so this is going to be a really incredible story. She is a business analyst in tech, a role that I've never gotten to talk about. So y'all definitely want to make sure y'all pay attention to her story, so that way you can do the same thing she did. Of course, as always, she did a tech boot camp. Usually 9 times out of 10, whenever I'm streaming with someone, these are tech testimonies where she did a tech boot camp. And for those that are interested, let me actually pin it right now so that way y'all can see it right away. Yeah, for those that are interested in the business analyst boot camp that she did, all you have to do is comment Skillhat. So skill and hat. And y'all know I got automation set up, so you'll receive the DMs. Yeah, you'll get those DMs sent over to you. If you are on YouTube and LinkedIn, you just want to look at the description of the stream. So look at the drop down the description, and you will see the link. Full transparency, y'all. Tech is the New Black does not receive a kickback for this. So this isn't one of those times where, so you get a discount, but Tech is New Black, this isn't something where it's like we're telling you to sign up because we get a kickback or anything, or we get an affiliate commission. This is solely just a benefit for you to get a discount, for you to hear her story, all that good stuff. Usually we get an affiliate commission, but not always. And, you know, these are one of those situations where this is really just something that's a blessing for you to take advantage of and allow you all to hear her story, because, again, she is a senior business analyst. Senior business analyst who went from making just $30,000 a month over $30,000 a month now, $30,000 a year to now over $300,000 a year. So make sure y'all tune in for this. Of course, last thing I'm going to say before we go ahead and get started, TechpreneurCon is coming up this weekend. That's Tech is the New Black. Our conference is coming up this weekend. The last day, we're nearing the last couple of days to get tickets. Prices are about to go up for the final run for tickets. We're almost sold out, so we're either going to sell out first or we're going to close out. So if you want tickets to TechpreneurCon, comment Tech Event, and that way you will get the link in your DMs to register for the event. But aside from that, the real meat and potatoes is listening to Sade and hearing her story. So Sade, thank you so much for coming on here, being willing to share your story with everybody. I don't know, can you adjust your tripod or your phone a little bit on your tripod so it can kind of come down a little bit so you're more centered? Perfect. Her makeup popping, ain't it, y'all? Yo, so thank you so much. So Sade, let's get into it. Let's talk about this. So I put the title on there. Sometimes people are very shocked by some of the titles I put. They think it could just be clickbait or something, which is understandable. But I titled this stream, she went from $30,000 a month, $30,000 a year to now making about $30,000 a month, or over $300,000 a year. So can you just tell everybody, just on a quick high level, like, is that accurate? Is that true? Or is that number slightly off? Speak to that a little bit, and then we'll go through and talk about your story from before you were in tech and take us through your journey breaking in and scaling. But just first off, tell everybody, like, what do you do in tech, and what were you making before you were in tech versus how much you make right now?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. So yes, that figure is accurate. Maybe a little bit more, but it's definitely within that range. So I am a senior business analyst right now in tech. However, before I break into tech, I was working as a customer service representative. Nothing too crazy, just doing regular customer service over the phone for an appliance company. And while working at the appliance company, I used to make around like 35K a year, and to what I'm making now.
Yo, that is incredible. Like, that's a really, really huge leap. And we're definitely going to go through all of it and see what your journey has been like. So when you were that appliance analyst, like, what was life like for you at that point in time? And Can you take us through what sparked the desire for you to want to get in the tech industry, and then ultimately what led to you actually pulling the trigger and starting on your journey at the bootcamp that you did?
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. So at the appliance company, again, I was just doing regular customer service. At that time, I've been a customer service representative for years, just working with different companies, doing their customer service. Um, what happened? So I lost my job. So I was working for a customer service company, and they went down, and so I got laid off. And I was just at home. I was just chilling. I wasn't really doing anything. Maybe like scrolling through LinkedIn, trying to find another customer care job. And I had a friend who had approached me, and he was like, "Hey, Shade, like I have this friend who's doing like a boot camp that you can learn like a business analyst or project management." At the time, I really didn't know what those were. I was just like, well, okay, yeah, sure. I didn't really give it much thought, to be honest. I was just trying to find another job because like I'm laid off at the home. And I was just home bored one day, and I said, okay, let me call him and ask him more about this friend that has this boot camp. And so I called him, and he connected me with Mo. Mo is now the owner of Skillhat. And so I connected with Mo, and I told him what my background was, customer service, and I'm laid off, so I'm at home right now. I'm not doing much. And then he asked me about my background, and he said, today, your background in customer service, you have a lot of transferable skills. I think you could do my business analyst program. And again, I was my first time hearing about it. I didn't know what it was. And so that was a Tuesday. And then the program was starting on the Friday. And so I said, okay, well, I'll be there on Friday, right? And so I did, and I went there. It was online. It was a Friday night, and I just fell in love with the whole thing that I was hearing. He walked us through the industry. He was talking about like the money, but you hear it, but you're not really like you're hearing it, but you're just not thinking like this is possible. I'm just like,
that's what I was going to ask.
Like that money.
Yeah, were you thinking that it was cap, or were you thinking, okay, maybe some people are making that kind of money, but I'm never going to make that kind of money? Like, what was all going through your mind at that time?
Yeah, what was going through my mind? I was just like, I don't really believe it. I believe it, but not 100%. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. And he was walking us through like the BAs in different industry and what you can make versus like a starter versus like a senior BA. And I was just mind blown, right? Because I was like, what? And so I said, okay, I'm gonna just stick to the cause. I'm just gonna see it through, even though I wasn't like fully convinced that this is possible. But I saw it through. I finished his program, and yeah, I'm where I am today because of the program. Because so what happened, I did the course, finished it, and remember, I don't have any tech experience. I don't even know about tech. Like, I just know about customer service. That's my bread and butter. And I think it was like a month after finishing the program, because right after we finished the program with Skillhat, they helped me with like my resume prep, job prep, and just prepping me and doing all of that. We did a couple mock interviews and stuff, and I just be like, okay, well, I'm going to the market, right? And so I got a lot of interviews, and eventually I got an offer a month after the program. I got an offer into tech. Like, remember, I have no tech experience. I don't.
Yeah.
It happened, and I was so shocked. And
yeah,
I remember going back to Mo, and I was saying, Mo, I got an offer, and he was like, wait, what? You got an offer? And I was like, yeah, I did. And I took it. At first, I actually was not going to take that offer, because while going in, it wasn't like what I was expecting. It wasn't like a 6-figure offer. Yeah. And so I remember I was telling Mo, and he was like, Shade, no, there's a thing called negotiation. Like, you got to negotiate your salary. Yeah. And I'm like, negotiate your salary? Like, I've never done that before.
You weren't doing it. It's like they would tell you how much you're getting paid, and you just say, yeah.
Exactly.
Usually.
Like, your salary is your salary, right?
Yeah.
What am I going to say? Like, how am I going to go back? And so he showed me how to, and this is something that Skillhat offers too. Like, it show you how to position like your argument. And, he helped me with that. And we went back, and I got the increase. I took the role.
So could you say how, and you can be specific or you can be general, it's however much however detailed you want to be, but when you mentioned that what they first offered you wasn't six figures, or I'm assuming it wasn't very close to six figures, what was that they initially offered you, and what did you end up getting after you negotiated?
Yeah. So at the time when I think they had offered around 50, 55K thereabout. And it was for like a junior role, but it was very low because again, I'm making like 30, 35. So it wasn't really like a huge jump for me.
Yeah.
And so like when I went back to Mo and, he helped me. And so I went back to them and I had asked them for like around 70, 80K and they gave it to me.
That's fire. So at that point, I love that's something that they have in their program where they train people not just on the actual skill of you being a business analyst, but also, like you mentioned, your resume, your actual mock interviews, really prepping you and skilling you up. But to take it further, even though you were done with the program, they could have easily just said, when you said, oh, I got offered 55,000, they could have been like, hey, that has nothing to do with us. Like, you did our program already, that's on you. But for them to further tell you about negotiations, so that way you can get an even bigger number, because that was no benefit to them. That really shows them really trying to make sure you get in the biggest bag possible, which is really, really important. And that way you're able to go from 35 to actually doubling your income out the gate, which is crazy. So so you went in just looking to get another job, and instead you ended up stepping into another industry to just really propel your bag in a big way.
Literally, like I was just looking for another job. Like I got laid off and I just wanted a job. And, this just came about and I found myself in tech. And, so once I got the offer now and I accepted it, I remember working with Skillhat again, because that's also something that they did. So like following up with me, like within my after my first day, my first week, like how's it going? Like, is there anything you need help from us with? Like, how can we support you? And so for most of I was good, really. But Mo was always there. Like the Skillhat team was always there, like following with me. How's your first week? Like, how's your first month? Like, is everything good? Like, is there anything challenging that you need our help with? And so I was good. I went in there and I was really just a sponge. I just wanted to learn. And I was working now with like a whole project team, the developers, the QAs, the scrum masters, the project managers. And so I got like a overall view of what everybody did. And so I could make a decision. Okay, do I want to stay doing what I'm doing, or do I want to skill up or whatever? But I really like being a BA. So I decided to just, I'll stay where I am, but I'm just going to soak in as much knowledge as I can. And I did. And I think it was about within my 6 month, I left that job because I got another offer. I got another offer. And this is now when I started like seeing that, oh, wow, there's like crazy money to be made. Because so I was working the job as, and I got approached by a recruiter. And at the time she had offered me it was a contract position. And so
I'm sorry, can you pause just real quick, Sade? Hey, y'all, I'm seeing a lot of questions pop up in the comments and in the chat, which is cool. Make sure y'all are putting your questions in the actual designated question section or question bubble. That way we can get to your questions later. We want to make sure we're able to answer y'all's questions, but we're not going to be able to scroll up and see all of them by the time she finishes answering everything. So definitely make sure you put your questions in the proper place. Those that are on YouTube and LinkedIn, just hold off on your questions until she finishes kind of telling her story. Her story is going to answer some of your questions already. So make sure you're paying attention. So that way we don't have to like reiterate something a second or third time. Make sure you're paying attention. But definitely make sure that you are putting on Instagram, putting your questions in the question section, and on LinkedIn and YouTube, just kind of hold off until she's finished with her story, and then go ahead and start dropping your questions so she can answer them. I'll help out a little bit, but for the most part, this is really her realm because she's a business analyst. I've never done business analyst. I have a lot of questions myself. So I'm really hype about it. But make sure y'all are putting your questions in the right place at the right time so we can get to them. Anyway, my bad, Sade. So you had mentioned how, and I'll kind of go back just a little bit to address a couple questions I saw in the chat. So just to kind of do a little bit of a refresher for people that are jumping in. So you did you went from customer service to you lost your job. They were doing layoffs. So you went from making about $35,000. You were just looking for a job, but your friend recommended this boot camp, which is the one that you ended up doing. You did it just looking to get a job, but instead you learned about business analysts. They were talking about some big money that you thought was kind of like, okay, whatever, that's ridiculous. But you ended up not just getting an offer 1 month after you finished the boot camp, but you got an offer for about 55,000. Instead of accepting it, the boot camp further reminded you, Mo, who's the founder of the boot camp, let you know, hey, no, you can negotiate. They helped you with negotiation, and instead you ended up over doubling your salary out the gate. And then 6 months after that, you job hop from that first tech company to another tech company. And going from there, can you tell everyone about how much was the jump from there? So you went from 35,000 to about $80,000 when you got in the tech industry. Between that first, basically from the first tech company to the next one.
Yeah. So again, it was 6 months into the first company, and I got approached by a recruiter, and she had a really nice offer, and it was a contract position. And when you do up the contract, I'd be making around 135, and I was like, yeah, of course, I want it. And so, we went through the interview process, and yeah, I got the job. I remember even like that specific interview, because I was still fresh, right? I'm still a fresh VA. I had approached Mo, and so I was telling him about it, and he had helped me do a little prep, because that company, they had asked me to do just a short little presentation, which was so funny because that same presentation that they had asked me to do was a presentation that I had already done in the boot camp. And so like I don't know how it worked out like that, but it did. And so I just took it, we edited it, we made some changes, and we prepped. And I remember presenting it to in the interview. And then I think it was like an hour after I finished, the recruiter called me and they're like, yeah, I have an offer for you. Let me know. And I was just like, yeah, we're taking it. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes, but I'm not done. Um, I don't think we're on YouTube anymore, but yeah, I'll continue. Okay, we'll continue. Yeah. Okay, so I got that contract, and so I got okay, sorry, I was getting a call. So I got that contract, and I left the full-time job because the first job that I got was a full-time job. So I left that, and I think it was like a month because I'm always on the market. That's just something I've never, it's like I just never leave the market. I'm always looking out. And so I got approached again by another recruiter for another contract. And so I was like, okay, what are we looking at? What are we talking about? And it was pretty similar to what I was making already. So, but it was just a little bit more. So at this time with that contract, it was 140. And so I was like, okay, what do I do now? So here's the thing. I remember going back to Mo because I was going back to Skillhat because I was very new to the whole contracting piece of the whole tech space. And so he had explained to me, he's like, Shade, what you can do is you can have your own corporation. And so you have your own corporation and then you work under your own corp as like an independent contractor. And so that way you get to like manage your taxes. You get to, we run it like a business. So I was like, okay. So and then you also get to negotiate your contracts better because so with my full-time role, I'm working my full-time role. I can only do my full-time role, but with my contract, you don't really have that stipulation where you have to be bounded to work into that contract. So I was like, okay, and both were remote at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do what I need to do. So I was working both as an independent contractor, and this was within the space of a year. So one was for 130, the other was 140 at the time.
Man, that is. I'm gonna be real. Oh, let me. I'm gonna echo a little bit. All right, cool. Yeah, I've actually never. Oh, I'm hearing that echo. Are you still unmuted on your computer? All right, cool. Check. Okay, cool. We good now. All right, yeah. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. I have never heard of that before. So that's fire that he was able to put you on game, not just with getting the role, but also breaking down, like showing you how you could, have your own business or corporation set up under there. That's something totally new. I'm not gonna lie. We might in the future have to bring Mo on in the future.
Yeah.
So he can explain to everybody how that goes, because that sounds like a whole other bag. I'm all about learning different ways to make a bag. So that's super fun. Let me know in the comments if y'all have ever heard of something like that before, or if that's your first time hearing about it, because that sounds incredible to me. Incredible. Look like a few other alumni are here in the chat right now that are giving Mo his flowers. So shouts out to Mo, shouts out to Skillhat. I see a couple people been popping up asking what bootcamp she did. On Instagram, just look at the pinned comment. The bootcamp is called Skillhat. All you have to do is just comment Skillhat, and y'all know I have automation set up. I'm always using technology. We talking about tech, so we got to use the tech. I have automations that will automatically send you a DM with the breakdown to Skillhat, as well as the discount link to the program. This is not a situation where Tech as a New Black gets an affiliate commission. This is solely something for y'all to get a discount, and we're listening to Sade's story, so that way y'all can like understand more about the program and more about how to scale further. Like that bar she just dropped, that gym was incredible. That's crazy, super crazy. No, on LinkedIn and YouTube, so it's not Skill Hack, it's Skill Hat, like a hat, Skill Hat. But don't comment it. Just go to the description underneath the video. You'll see a drop down. There's a link. You'll see the discount link or the discount code, and then the link for you to be able to have access to that. But anyway, let's get back to your story. So, all right, so you ended up making that move over. Now, and I guess we'll continue going through there. Then I'll ask you some other questions about what, like the details of what a business analyst is, and then we'll get to everybody's questions. So you ended up making that transitional move. What did you end up doing from there? And also the other question I have, you keep mentioning that recruiters keep reaching out to you or kept finding you during this time. I'm also curious about what you were doing on LinkedIn that had recruiters like finding you. So, because I think that's a huge gem you could get to people as well.
Yeah, that is true. So, and again, it's part of my training with Skillhat. It's we go through a session where we have to like optimize our LinkedIn, and so by optimize your LinkedIn, it's a process to optimizing your LinkedIn. And so my LinkedIn was 100% optimized. So for the most part, I was not applying for jobs. Like recruiters are always the ones. All of the jobs that I
Exactly. They
applied,
slide in
they were
your
reaching out to
DMs.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
every single one. And so yeah, so optimizing your LinkedIn, make sure that you have like your a photo, like a headshot, you have your taglines, you have the necessary keywords, and just make it attractive to the recruiters. And so
Yeah.
that's what I did. So my if so I've also did a short little contract with a recruiting company.
Okay.
And so I was working on the other end with the recruiter. So I saw what they saw on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, LinkedIn Recruiter, the back end version of LinkedIn.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went, I knew how to optimize my LinkedIn properly. So if
Yeah.
you're looking for a BA anywhere in Toronto, I'll be at the top of the list at
And we
all
say
times.
and we say BA, I want to make sure because everyone here doesn't
Sorry,
don't know the acronyms and stuff.
business analyst.
Yeah. Yo,
Yeah.
that's fine. So you said you'll be at the top. So if anyone's searching for a business analyst, you come up on the top.
Yeah.
That is fire.
I also wanted to say something. I saw in the comments a lot of people were saying like they're not sure, like they've never heard of like that type of contract. So in Canada, it's called incorporated contract. However, in the US, it's called a C2C. And I'm
Oh
also in
yeah.
the US market as well, which with that type of setup
Yo, I'm
now.
happy that you mentioned the Canada piece because there are a lot of Canadians follow me and they're always asking me about a boot camp that they can like really trust in that's good for people that are in Canada. And so, yeah, y'all, my bad. I forgot to mention that Skillhat, their actual physical location, they are based in Canada, but they do service people in all of North America, as well as I'm sure in a few other places as well. And as she mentioned before, if anybody who missed it, they do assist when it comes to not just your resume and cover letter, but also your LinkedIn and also mock interviews and what it looks like to actually be completely skilled up and ready. And as she mentioned before, I talk about often about the importance of LinkedIn optimization because as I mentioned before, after I got my first tech job, I never had to go out of my way to apply to a company again. If you know how to properly optimize your LinkedIn, companies will reach out to you. Recruiters will find you because recruiters, talent sourcers, hiring managers, and others, they are trying to find talent. They're not just sitting on LinkedIn twiddling their thumbs. They're actually using LinkedIn like a search engine to find talent that they can take from another company or they could just hire fresh off the streets. But the way they find you is based on how high up you are ranked on LinkedIn. That's why she mentioned that if someone's looking up a business analyst, she's ranked at the top of the pile, which that means her LinkedIn is optimized in like such a way that she's outperforming others. This is, I don't want to go too deep into what I'm about to say, but I at least want y'all to hear this. This is why I oftentimes say to not allow imposter syndrome or you believing because you're black or because you are brown or because you are even a woman. Not saying that sexism and racism doesn't exist. It's always going to exist. It exists everywhere. Nevertheless, when you are ranked high up on LinkedIn and you're constantly ranked, that means there are 10 to hundreds to maybe thousands of recruiters that are constantly seeing you when they're looking to hire someone. And that means that you automatically are put in the front of the line. So I love that this Skillhat does that. I think that's fire because a lot of boot camps, even good boot camps, a lot of them don't really help people when it comes to knowing how to properly optimize their LinkedIn. That's incredible.
It is.
Incredible. Yeah, that's fire. Yeah, my bad. I got off on a tangent, but yeah, my bad. Yeah, so make sure that y'all are definitely like looking into that. But obviously, that's something that Skillhat already helps out with. So they'll make sure that you're good when it comes to that. So I had to ask that though. So you had a bunch of recruiters finding you throughout your entire journey. They showed you how to basically create a corporate, or as you mentioned in America, it's called a C2C, corporate to corporate type of deal. So But all right, now where do we go from, I guess, getting to you making over $300,000 a year now? Like, how did you scale up to this number?
Right. So, um, again, now I'm in the whole world of contracting, and I
Yeah.
see how quickly you're able to like make money when you're working contract, and just the volume of money that you can make. So I completely ditched working full time. I'm still working full time. It's just I'm working on contract, and it's working like a corp to corp type of setup.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer on like a W-2 or a T4 basis. And so with that, I also had went back to Skillhat, and I wanted to skill up again. And I know they offered project management. And so what I wanted to do now, I wanted to combine my business and analyst skills with like a project management skill. So now I'll be like a consultant. You know, I not only can I do the BA piece, but I can also manage projects. I can run the projects and,
Yeah.
you know, operate from that standpoint. And so that's what I did. I went back, rinse and repeat with Skillhat. But at this time, I'm not doing BA. I'm just doing project management, which, you know, same difference. We did the same process. And now I'm back on the market as a consultant. And so my rate has doubled.
Yo, price went up. Price went up through the roof. That's crazy. So that's one piece I didn't know. And of course, y'all know I try to have these conversations be very organic. I try not to ask too many questions before we start these streams, so that way my reaction is very authentic. But one thing I definitely didn't know was that, so you didn't just do the boot camp one time. 3 years later, you spun the block, did the boot camp again to do a different course, so that way you could like skill up even further and diversify your skills.
Yeah, it wasn't even like 2 years. It was like a year after. Like once I was like making like that amount, like I was like in the 200 range, I was like, yeah, going back. I need to skill up to see what else I can come with. Because one thing that I like about tech, it's always reinventing yourself, just trying to stay current. Like what is current right now on the market, and making sure that I'm able to like provide that, so that way I can always justify why my rate is my rate, and why I'm not gonna negotiate my rate, and I'm not gonna lowball my rate, because my rate is my rate. Like I can do this, I can do with that, right? So always upskilling is, it's like my secret to, you know, being relevant and keeping in trend. Because in technology, things are always changing, processes are always changing, methodologies are always changing, and so being at the forefront of it will serve you well. Or has served me well.
Yes, it served you real well. Yeah, but no, I love everything you're saying. I'm happy you're saying this, because there are a lot of people that get in tech and don't realize, like how you mentioned, like the industry is constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. And I'm gonna be real, y'all. And Sade, let me know what you think about this. If you agree, disagree, or if you have another angle or perspective on it. Whenever I see someone that is in the industry and then they lose their job, maybe because they get fired, or a layoff happens, there's a difference between a layoff happening with some. I'll just say it like this. I personally, I'm not saying this doesn't exist. I personally have never seen a person that is properly optimizing their LinkedIn and diversifying their skill sets, like you mentioned. I've never seen that person without a job in tech for over a month. Like they were in high demand to where tech companies will be looking for them. That's why there's a post that I put up before about a year and a half ago where I was like, yo, tech companies are like buses, miss one, next 15, one coming, like that Gucci Man line, where it's like, yo, there are so many companies, and if you're really doing things the right way, first off, it'll be very unlikely that you get let go. But even if your company is going through some mess, maybe they mess their money up, even if something happens, you'll have a long line of other companies that want to hire you, and it'll just, you know, like you're good, you know, you're really good. So I love that you mentioned that. And I hope all of you take that to heart. When many of you do Skillhat yourself, later on, when you see the benefits of it and you're in tech and your bag is getting bigger, definitely consider spinning a block, doing the program again for a different course, so you can diversify your skill sets. And at that point, you would have been in the industry, so you would have better knowledge of what else you want to learn how to do. But I love how, Sade, how you diversify with project management. So having that business analyst, can you explain to everyone really quickly, and really for me too, how both being a business analyst and having that project management, that PMP, having that, how does that make you more versatile and put you maybe even in higher demand in the industry?
Right. So when I'm a BA, I actually do have a PM that I'm working under.
Yeah.
And so I'm only responsible for like a subsection of the project, usually like the requirements, the discovery piece. And so normally when you're marketing yourself and they're looking for a BA, they know, okay, so the BA is responsible for this and the BA is responsible for that. However, when you're talking about project management now, it's a whole different ball game, because a project manager is somebody who's held accountable. And for you to be held accountable for something, it comes with great demand as well. And so, so when I'm marketing myself, like it just depends. Like now I'm a consultant, right? I can be a project manager if that's what you want, but I can also be a BA if that's what you're looking for. But also, if you want like a consultant who can do both, then that's me as well. So I teeter between 3 different types of rates. It just depends on what the company's looking for or what the need is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, that is fire. Yo, I love this so much. This is crazy, like crazy in a good way. Now, something I should have asked you earlier. And I'm sure this is one of the questions people are going to want to know. What exactly does a business analyst, or as you say, the acronym BA, what exactly does a business analyst do?
Yeah. So think of it like this: a business analyst acts as like a bridge between the business stakeholders and the IT teams. So the BA, the business analyst, will translate business needs into technical requirements. And so they basically analyze processes, identify areas for opportunities or improvement. And we also propose solutions to enhance like efficiency and just enhance effectiveness. So wherever you see that there's a gap, you question it, like, hey, why is this like that? Can we do it this way? Additionally, the BA facilitate communication between like the different departments, and also just ensuring that whatever project it is, that the project aligns with the business goals. And sometimes the BA plays a key role in project management as well as implementation.
Yo, that's crazy, because I'm stop saying crazy. Let me say words that everybody knows what I'm saying. The reason why that gets me hyped. So that's basically like you are a business owner in a way within your company. So it's like you sit in a space where, of course there's the CEO of the company, but you are almost another CEO over part of the company where you're making different decisions to help with the efficiency of the business.
In a way.
All right, maybe I misunderstood.
So like in layman terms, like I would say a lot of times companies, they have a vision, right? And the business side is saying one thing, and the IT team who's supposed to carry out the vision, they're saying another thing. The problem is they're saying the same thing, but they're speaking 2 different languages. Like the business is speaking in Spanish, the IT team is speaking in French. The BA is the middleman between the two, who will translate what each other is saying. So the BA will go back to the IT and be like, okay, so this is what the business is looking for. And then now from the IT side, you take those high level technical requirements and you go back to the business, you dumb it down, you present it to them maybe in charts and just visual formats, and you explain, okay, so this is what the tech team is working on. So you basically is like facilitating the communication between these 2 important departments, but they usually speak different languages.
Yo, that's incredible. Incredible. I love, let me know if I'm tripping, y'all. I personally love learning about different roles in tech. I'm familiar with most roles in tech, but something like a business analyst is something that I've never really looked much into. This sounds like, honestly, it sounds kind of fun. Let me ask you this. Do you, okay, I was gonna ask if you actually like your job.
No, I love my job.
I
love my job. I really do love my job. The BA plays a key role, a very important role in the project space as well, because you are responsible for, getting those requirements and getting like that feature or that product out. Because without the BA collecting the requirements and collecting good quality requirements, at the end of the day, the product that you might get, if the requirements are not solid, you might not get like a quality product. So the BA plays a very important role.
Yeah, that's incredible. And how technical is the role? Because from what it sounds like, I know that you are basically translating uh, two technical people, but
Yeah.
I decided to sit down. I was all right. Let me go ahead and take a seat for this. But let me lower this some more. It's crazy. Anyway, but how technical is the role? And this is for, I know there's gonna be a lot of people here that's gonna want to know, yo, do you have to code? Do you have to learn some different languages? So can you talk to that part?
Yeah, so there's no coding involved in the business analyst job description. It can get technical. However, the BA, you're mainly doing documentation, and you are taking that document, you're taking requirements from the business, which is layman terms. They'll, because that's how the business side, that's how they communicate. They don't know IT language. They just communicate to you in basic terms. I just want this, right? And so you take that, and then you're just going to translate that into a different language that the tech team can understand. And so what we'll call it is like you take those high level business requirements and you translate it into functional requirements. However, this is something that you do learn. This is something that I learned when I was in the bootcamp with Skillhat. They'll show you how to write up like a business requirement document, a high level business requirement document, and they'll also teach you how to like take out those high level requirements, make them more functional, make it more specific, make it more tailored, as well as how to write acceptance criteria for those requirements. So it's a whole, that piece is not something that you just get up and know. I didn't like get up and know that piece. That's something that I actually learned. Yeah.
Yo, that's incredible. This is fire. This is one of my favorite streams. I love this so much. I love learning some things myself. So this is really incredible. I know you do what you do, but you're doing such a fire job explaining this. And I mean, I can see the comments. Everybody else you're doing such a good job making it very clear, very plain. I mean, definitely shouts out to you. Also, shouts out to Skillhat in terms of what it is. So when did you get to the mark to where you're now at, where you're making over 300,000 a year?
Yeah. So again, in keeping with contracting, I now diversify myself. So I live in Canada for reference. And so now I do work as a BA in the US market on what we call like a C2C type basis. It's corp to corp. I do work on multiple contracts there under that type of setup, as well as I still work as a BA/contractor here in Canada. So
okay. So your a little job stacking over. Well, I mean, but you're a contract, like you have your own contract though. So it's more like you're taking on businesses.
It is.
Yeah.
Right, right. So I take on different contracts under my corporation, not necessarily to me specifically, because no contract nowadays, the contracts don't come to me, they're to my business name. Exactly. And so like the client has a contract with my company and I'm just like a subcontractor on the project. Yeah.
That is fire. Yo, I love this. This gives me hype. Stuff like this gives me hype. This is incredible. Let me know in the comments. I mean, I see y'all loving it too. This is really, really incredible. Definitely gotta have more conversations with business analysts. And so, look, y'all, we're about to go ahead and get over to y'all's questions. Make sure y'all are posting your questions on Instagram. Put them in the proper question bubble or question section. I see we have over 10 questions already. On YouTube, LinkedIn, y'all can just start dropping your questions. We'll hopscotch between both when it comes to answering the questions. So y'all acting up in the comments. Chill out. That's funny. So all right, let's get to it. All right. So someone's asking, which tools do you advise to learn? What tools do you advise to learn as a BA? I'm assuming that Skillhat the boot camp teaches people all the tools and stuff they'll need to use, right?
They absolutely do. And so with a BA, you just want to keep it quite simple. Again, we're not
Yeah.
coding. We're not. It's not a complicated job. You just want to keep it simple. Like you want to know your Microsoft Office, right? Words, PowerPoint, Excel. You want to get those, as well as Visio, which is a tool that we do for like diagramming whenever we're trying to like show a process. And so all of these tools, I got familiar with them in Skillhat. With Skillhat, they also do give us assignments that we have to go, and they give us processes that we have to go take home and create a process using Visio or Draw.io, and doing prototyping. I remember I did that in the Skillhat program, and it was my first time doing it. I think we were doing like a baby app or something, just doing like a prototype for that, and it was quite fun. And yeah, you get to learn these different tools that you'll need. But with a BA, you just want to keep it quite simple. You want to know your Microsoft Office, and you want to know Visio.
Yo, that's fire. Keep it simple. All right. So Glory asked, did you have any prior business analyst experience before you did Skillhat Bootcamp?
Oh, not at all. Like I was a customer service representative. I just got laid off. I was at home chilling, watching TV. I really didn't have anything to do, and that's how I got introduced to it. I had no experience, none.
That's fire. I love that so much. All right, so we're gonna hop over to Instagram, and some of these questions are things you've already answered. So I will say this, y'all, for the sake of time, if I don't address your question, it's most likely because we already answered it, and we don't want to take up time like re-answering the same questions over. So this stream is gonna live on here, so you can like rewatch it and be able to get access to those answers. So, okay, cool. So what do you love most about your job?
It's fun. I love that, as well as you do get to meet people. Because as a BA, again, you're talking to people, you're talking to different stakeholders. So you do get to meet a different side of the business every day. Like sometimes you even get to meet the CEO sometimes, and so you get to build relationships with different people from different backgrounds, from different departments. And so a lot of times, if you're a good VA and you hone in on those relationship building, sometimes you can also secure your jobs, because a lot of people will tend to like you, like, oh, I like her, or I like him, he has a good personality. So I really love the relationship building aspect of my job.
Yeah, that's incredible. Incredible. All right, Jesus Enrique, you must have joined the stream late, because he's like $30,000 a month. How? I roll. Yeah, rewatch it. She explains everything, but this isn't. People that have been watching my content for a while know that there's no like cap over here. And so, but yeah, anyway, but she explains how the stream, she literally just told step by step her story of how she did it, how Skillhat was able to help her get to where she's at. Definitely, she of course had to put that work in. That's one thing I want to iterate. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. This is something where you definitely have to come willing to work. As she mentioned, her job isn't something where it's very complicated or it's very stressful. Nevertheless, you're not going to be handed $300,000 a year or $120,000 a year, or even $90,000 a year. You definitely got to come with it. So the boot camp, it gives you everything you need in terms of the skills and in terms of you being, your LinkedIn, your resume, your interviewing skills, all that being up to par. But you got to come with it at the end of the day. You have to come with it. And so good stuff. So let's get to a actual question. All right. So how long was the business analyst bootcamp that you did?
At the time when I did it, I think it was 6 to 8 weeks. I'm not sure how long it is now.
Wait, you said 68 or 6 to 8 weeks?
Sorry, 6 to 8 weeks. I think we did 6 weeks in class, and then we did another 2 weeks just doing like our job prep, resume prep, all of that. So in total, I think it was 8 weeks. 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it is now, though.
Yeah, I was about to say that for y'all to get an actual, an accurate depiction as to how long, and also you have to keep in mind they have other courses. So she's speaking about business analyst, but she also ended up doing the boot camp again later to skill up further and did the project management course. So they have a few different courses on that they teach people in. You want to make sure you go to the site to get the most up-to-date information, because boot camps, they'll change how long the course is because they'll add some things, and a lot of it depends on the market. It depends on what the market is asking for. They'll make adjustments. So to get an actual accurate number in terms of the time frame, in terms of the price of the boot camp, definitely just on YouTube, LinkedIn, click the link and go to the site. I can tell you all this, it's nothing expensive or anything like that, but definitely go to the site. You get a $100 off discount. So I have a discount link, discount code that you'll see in the drop down, and on Instagram, just comment Skillhat. I gotta keep doing sign language, Skillhat. And you will get a automated DM that'll go to you, that'll have a breakdown, and it'll have all that good stuff for you. So that way you can go to the site, you can check it out, look at the course, do some more, look into it a little bit more, all of that good stuff. Pray about it, whatever your process is when it comes to you making the right decision. Because we're not telling you that you need to do it. Instead, we're presenting for you a role in tech where, it's a really phenomenal role. You make a lot of money. Obviously, it comes with a lot of benefits and perks. She's sharing her story, her experience with it. And we're really just here just to be a resource for you to, find a route for you to make more money and really ultimately have a better life, healthier life. All right, cool.
Agreed.
So, good question. Someone asked, what would be the difference between a tech sales rep and a business analyst? So if it's fine, Sade, I'll address the tech sales side. And then, of course, you take over the business analyst side. So a tech sales rep, and also we have to be somewhat specific, because you can be an SDR. You can be someone who basically is doing outreach when it comes to reaching out to new clients or new prospects for your company to go into contract with, basically helping your company attract more clientele. You can do that. You can also be an account executive, where you're basically the person, you're the sales rep that's closing the prospect. You're actually the person that's looking at their pain points, answering their questions, presenting different solutions that your company has. Basically, you're a sales rep for your company. Or you could be a sales engineer, which is a majority of what I've done in tech, where I would do the demos or presentations of my company's technology to an outside prospect to basically to get them, to help them make a buying decision with my company, choosing my company over another company. So that's the tech sales side. Tech sales, you're attracting new clientele, and or you are pitching them to close them for your company. Now, Sade, can you explain business analysts, like the differences between what I just explained and business analysts?
Yeah, I think with a BA, there's not a much pitching that is involved. There's no sale particular that goes on. Again, with the BA, you're really just the middleman between your business side, like your business executive stakeholders, and the IT team. And so most of the times, for the most part, your role is very internal. A lot of times, if a BA have communication with like outside people, is usually like vendors, and we're just looking, maybe the company wants a new tool, and so you're just helping them, trying to vet some of the vendors on the market. So yeah, it's very different. It's very different. There's no sale, there's no pitching that goes on. You mainly work with the development team, which is the IT team, and the business team, and you're just helping these two people communicate through your documentation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that's fire. That's fire. That's lovely. All right, so I'm gonna blast through a couple of these questions where she already touched on this. All right, so what's the name of the boot camp she completed? So if you go to below the video on YouTube, there's a drop down where it has a drop down, and it tells you the name of the boot camp, as well as the link for you to check the boot camp out, and a discount link. It's called Skillhat, but just look at the drop down. All the information is there. And how does she set up the C2C in the US? So that, again, they help you with all of that.
Well,
So
Skillhat don't help with that part of it.
yeah.
So, but to answer your question, I do have an ebook which
Mhm.
I've covered that in its
Oh,
entirety. You know,
fire.
how to set up your corp, how to look for C2C contracts, how to negotiate your contracts, your insurance, all of that. So, and it's also on my LinkedIn. So, like,
Yeah.
just go to my LinkedIn. Should I read? You'll see the ebook, How to Work as a Contractor in the U.S.
Yeah. So y'all see her name right here. Just put that in. She when I pulled her up on LinkedIn initially, she came right up for me. So and on Instagram, if Sade, can you spell your name in the chat and post it there on Instagram so that way they can see it.
Oh, on
And I
Instagram.
yes, please, thank you. Yeah. So let's see. All right, cool. Yeah, and for the question about AI, is the industry still worth getting into with AI becoming prevalent? So I'll give an answer, and then I'll like Sade will give her answer as well. If anything, the industry is better to get in because of AI for a few reasons. One, it's helping level the playing field within the market because now you have people, especially if you're entry level, there are people that have been in the industry for 10 years, 15 years, but now you can get in the industry and if you start learning some of the AI or some of the machine learning, or and mind you, you can learn it in different ways. You don't have to be a software developer to learn AI. So don't understand you don't need to be the coder of AI to use AI within your role. So there's a bit of a leveling of the playing field right now where there are people that are more entry level that because they are learning, whether it's AI or it's other things, just how she mentioned, she diversified her skill sets. You diversifying your skill set, whether it's with AI or something else, that automatically puts you ahead of the curve within the market and the industry, and it puts you in higher demand. So it's honestly a better thing for you. That's why even myself, when I got in tech, and I ended up making more money faster than most sales engineers that had been in the industry for about 5 years, 10 years. And it was because I was learning like basically new stuff that they weren't learning. So if anything, the AI boom is a dope thing for you right now. And it also increases more companies. There are more companies that are popping up that are AI. I understand AI is tech. So it increases the amount of companies that are even available that are hiring, and these companies are getting more funding from investors. Which what happens when a company gets more funding from investors? They use that money usually for one of two things. It's either to increase the infrastructure of their business and or to hire more staff to help the company grow and do more things. So the AI boom is not anything that anyone should be worried about unless you're not taking advantage of it. Then you probably should be worried about it. Anyway, so that's my answer on it. Sade, what's your answer to the question? Is the industry still worth getting into with AI becoming prevalent?
Yeah, I think my answer will just piggyback off yours. I think AI is great, especially for me as a BA. It helps me a lot in my day to day. I don't think it's here to replace us, but it's definitely here to help enhance the work that we do. And so you have to embrace it. So for me, I do use most of the AI tools out there that you can think of. It helps me to be more efficient. It helps me to write better and just have better, more clearer documentation or just, training. And so I think you will get scared if you're not using it, as Cyrus says, if you're not embracing it. But once you understand what it does, then you will probably you can also understand that this is not going to take over my job, right? Because you have to also program the AI tools to give you what you're looking for, right? And so it's very good. It's not here to take over our jobs. So yeah, just start embracing it more, start using it, get to know them. And I feel like this also position you well in the market because in tech, there's always going to be something new coming in tech. Now it's just AI. I'm sure in a couple years it's going to be something else. And you have to be at the forefront of it to stay relevant. So don't get scared.
Yeah, exactly. There's a quote that I heard. I've heard a few people use it, where the quote goes, AI is not going to replace people. People who are using AI in their business are the ones that are going to replace people. So, yeah. And again, I saw someone say in the comments, you don't need to learn how to create AI. So, that's you don't need to learn how to create AI in order to use AI or leverage it. It's just technology. You don't need to know how to create technology in order to use it for your business. So super cool. All right, let's get back to some of these questions. All right, y'all. So we're gonna get to a few more questions. Wow, we got a lot of good questions on here. We're gonna get to a few more of these questions. That's hilarious. Shanae, recruiter cousin, she said, "I'm about to log on to LinkedIn Recruiter to see if she pops up." So she's about to search to see how high you rank. That's funny. And also, y'all, Shanae, recruiter cousin, is going to be one of our special guests that are going to be at TechPreneur, which is the tech event, the Tech is the New Black that we have coming up in Atlanta this Saturday and Sunday. It's a 2-day event. And for those that have not gotten your tickets yet, we still have roughly about 26 tickets left. So if you want to get access, and I'm sorry, y'all, we have virtual access as well. So we do have virtual tickets as well. So no matter where you live, you can get virtual tickets. You'll have your own host that will be hosting, that'll be going around the event, asking people questions based on whatever you want to ask. So whether you want to, ask Shanae a question at the event, myself or others, you'll be able to, of course, stream and watch the panels and everything that are happening live, the speakers, the party, the mixing and mingling, all of that. So just on Instagram, comment tech event. And of course, you'll get an automated DM for you to get registered for the event before tickets either sell out or before the window closes. On LinkedIn and YouTube, just go to the description of the video and you'll see the link to register for TechPreneur. So that way y'all can pull up either in person or virtually. But yeah, Shanae will be there. That's why I brought that up for y'all. So do business analysts get commission like SDR, BDRs, or how does the pay structure work?
I do think it's definitely dependent on your industry. However, from my experience, no, there's really no commission involved. If you do work full-time, like you work for a company, at the end of the year, you might get bonus or an increase on your salary. But that's about it. There's no commission because you're not selling anything, right? So yeah.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say, and I can't speak specifically about the contracting side of it, the C2C side. But one thing I do want to let y'all know is that in tech, and I'm going to be talking about this more on my page with other people, but there are a variety of different ways that you can get paid. Of course, there's your salary, you can get bonuses, a sign-on bonus, you get other bonuses, you have equity within the company, a variety of different things. So, all right, good stuff, y'all. All right, y'all, look, we got a lot of questions on here. Sade, I actually would love it if what I'm going to do, we're going to need to run this back because there's so many questions that are on here that we need to get to. But I do have to wrap and jump really quickly, y'all. So I'm screenshotting these questions now so we can get to them later. Sade, thank you so very much for coming on. This has been beautiful. Again, y'all, make sure on Instagram, comment Skillhat so that way you can get the discount information for the bootcamp. You can get the link. You can check it out, look into it more on YouTube and LinkedIn. Look at the drop down for it. Same thing. Make sure y'all check out Sade. Send her over some of y'all's questions. Check out her ebook and what she has where it teaches you how to set up that C2C is what it is in America. So definitely tap into it. Other than that, love y'all. Y'all have a great night. Thank you, Sade.